Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. We're here today to announce two new initiatives. A statewide conviction review unit housed here at the Attorney General's office, and a statewide cold case network involving the New Jersey State Police and covering the entire state of New Jersey. Both initiatives mark a major step forward for New Jersey's criminal justice system. The first, the conviction review unit, will investigate prisoners' claims of actual innocence, determine whether any of those individuals were wrongly convicted. The second, the cold case network, will involve a statewide task force of regional cold case units that pool resources and deploy new technologies to solve old crimes. These two programs are both based on one simple premise, that those who are innocent should not remain in prison, and that those who are guilty should not remain on our streets. And these programs reiterate our view that we can promote public safety while also strengthening the public's confidence in the criminal justice system. As part of today's event, I am particularly honored to announce that the Honorable Carolyn Murray, who until yesterday served as a Superior Court judge in Essex County, has agreed to step down from the bench and serve as the first director of our statewide conviction review unit. I had the pleasure of swearing Carolyn in just a few moments ago, and I am confident that Judge Murray, who has spent her entire life working to improve the criminal justice system, including a stint right down the hallway for Attorney General Paula Dow, will bring the same integrity and the same intellectual rigor to this new assignment that she has brought to every distinguished position she has held throughout her career. You'll hear from Judge Murray in a moment, but first let me take a step back. Last year, I asked two of New Jersey's most thoughtful public figures, former New Jersey Supreme Court Justice Virginia Long, who is with us this morning, and former U.S. Attorney Paul Fishman, who could not make it here this morning. I asked the two of them to convene a working group to study two issues: whether the Attorney General's office should create a statewide conviction review unit, and whether we should create a statewide cold case unit. They pulled together an exceptional team that included everyone from police chiefs to prosecutors, to public defenders, to leaders of the Innocence Project. I received their final report several weeks ago, and after carefully reviewing it, I have largely accepted all of their recommendations. And to help fund this effort, we've secured a grant from the United States Department of Justice, which will provide nearly $250,000 to get the conviction review unit up and running.
A spark of hope? Fleeting, maybe. I'll try. I'll call first thing Monday morning. The lane control saga still weighs on me extremely heavy. I've been trying to give you guys some happier content. The lane control saga has been so terminal for so long, you know. I do my best to hide it away, to keep it away from you guys, when not necessary. I do understand that I understand people are inclined, excuse me, inclined to believe that I'm going through mood swings. He seemed so happy the last video, and now this. What I'm trying to communicate to you is that sorrow is always there. It's not a mood swing, okay? I work very hard to pack it away, to maybe give you some happier content. But tonight's video, It does deal directly with our lane control saga. I know we have a lot of new subscribers, so I'll just simply touch off really quick as to what the lane control saga is. Okay, here in the state of New Jersey, it's what we cyclists call a 007 state, 007 license to kill, meaning that New Jersey is one of about 7 states in the Union that do not, repeat, not have a 3-foot clearance law requiring motorists to give a cyclist 3 feet of clearance when moving past them. This proves to be exceptionally difficult and dangerous when the lane of travel is completely devoid of any kind of shoulder. We'll talk more about shoulder in just a moment. Completely devoid of any kind of shoulder, easement, margin, no bike lane, no bicycle infrastructure, nothing. It's just 100% lane of travel, as in the Tilton Road video, where Officer Devlin was unlawfully issuing me a ticket. And also, certain portions of US 322 Black Horse Pike here in South Jersey. This is New Jersey for those of you who don't know. It's Atlantic County, New Jersey. US 322, it goes through a number of different cities and townships. Anyway, these lanes of travel are about 10 feet wide, sometimes 11 feet wide. The point, it is completely unsafe, unworkable to attempt lane sharing, meaning our vehicle side by side with our bicycle. Bicycle, vehicle. Okay? It's not possible. I have even gotten the officers involved to admit just such a thing on the stand under a cross-examine testimony. They admit that the mathematics excuse me. They admit that the mathematics simply do not support lane sharing. Yet they insist that I, the cyclist, were to just simply trust. I believe Sergeant Heath Purr said to just trust the motoring traffic, and I believe it was Officer Kevin Devlin who said that traffic will just flow around a cyclist. And again, to both of those responses, New Jersey is a 007 state, licensed to kill. A motorist has absolutely no obligation to give a cyclist 3 feet of clearance, and a motorist, technically under the law, is required to maintain their lane. If they're not changing lanes, then they have to maintain their lane, because that's what both the officers were intimating, that the vehicle, if our cyclist and the vehicle approaching the cyclist will just simply veer to the left, I assume, and lane split. Of course, there is no logic there, for what if it is heavy traffic conditions and our left-hand lane is fully occupied? And so it is why the state of New Jersey went through all the effort to author and publish a 52-page cycling manual, because I do understand that New Jersey's bicycling laws, Title 39, 414 points 1 and 2, it revolves around the word practicable. That's what it comes down to, where it says that a cyclist must be as far to the right as practicable. That word practicable, that's our shade of gray. Prosecution and the police are hell-bent on injecting current continuity. Your Honor, this is where drivers are accustomed to seeing a cyclist, meaning in the gutter, meaning lane sharing, all the way into the gutter, whether there's a shoulder or easement or anything there for the cyclist or not. That they are accustomed to cyclists being like church mice scurrying along a curb as best they can, rather than asserting themselves among traffic, taking their rightful place among traffic. And by the way, when I say assertive, that would indeed be language directly from the New Jersey State Cycling Manual, a manual that the court to date has dejected. Because, like I say, I understand our law, our statute, Title 39, 414, it comes down to that one, well, it's two murky parts to it. One, practicable, as to how far to the right, and secondly, flow of traffic, cyclists moving with the flow of traffic. The problem there is that traffic moves at different speeds all the time, as witnessed, as evidenced in our rear view footage from the Kevin Devlin unlawful stop. I believe off to my left in that footage, there was a small gold SUV falling behind. While on the stand, I did indeed get Officer Kevin Devlin to admit that my vehicle, my bicycle, at that moment became the excuse me. Excuse me. Just gotta take some deep breaths here. Okay. I got Officer Kevin Devlin to admit on the stand that at that moment, my vehicle was indeed the fastest vehicle moving on the road. The reason being because the surrounding vehicles were moving at different speeds for different reasons. Some are changing lanes, some are preparing to turn. Traffic moves at different speeds all the time. Okay? Therefore, because of these murky gray areas of the law, the state of New Jersey, actually it's more than the state of New Jersey, all 50 states in the Union have cycling laws that are almost identical. But we're talking about New Jersey. So New Jersey authors its cycling manual, putting to rest, putting to bed. So it's not like I went into court with a law that had these murky areas to it and then expected the judge to just simply take my interpretation of the law over the cop's interpretation of the law, over prosecution's interpretation of the law. No, I went in with the state of New Jersey, the entity that wrote me the tickets, okay? Because I also pointed that out during the trial, that on my summons to come to court, it doesn't say Sergeant Heath Purr versus Charles Dunbar. No, it doesn't say Officer Kevin Devlin versus Charles Dunbar. No, it says the state of New Jersey versus Charles Dunbar. Okay? How can the state of New Jersey bring charges against me for piloting my vehicle, that vehicle, exactly as it instructs in its 52-page cycling manual. Please explain this to me. And then, what's my time? I'm doing good, 15. And then, okay, it is upsetting. And then, the insult here is, of course, the New Jersey Move Over law. So we have these police officers on the stand under sworn testimony telling me, a cyclist, just trust. You'll be okay. Don't worry. The cars will flow around you. You don't have to sit there and take the entire lane. That's not necessary. Okay? It isn't necessary. I see. Tell me something. Is New Jersey Trooper Sean Cullen, would he say it's necessary? Do you think Trooper Cullen thinks that motorists can just be trusted? Hmm? What do you think? Does Trooper Cullen feel that vehicles will just flow around? Oh, that's right. Trooper Cullen doesn't feel anything. Trooper Cullen is dead and buried 6 feet in the ground. Hit and killed by a whoops-a-daisy driver while he conducted a traffic stop. You see, that's the insulting part here. The very same fucked up drivers that kill you cops are the same fucked up drivers that kill we cyclists. If anything, we should be working together, but you pit yourself against the cycling community. Or maybe it's just me that you fucking hate so goddamn much. So we have our first bit of irony there. The same drivers that kill cops are the same drivers that kill cyclists. All with a whoops-a-daisy. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't see him. I didn't see the cyclist. I didn't see the cop. I didn't see him. Now moving on to the topic of shoulders, easement. It's interesting too because state's attorney, I'm gonna take an attempt at this name. Gerbrie, State's Attorney General Gerbrie. Apologies. State's Attorney. I'm horrible with these names. I'm doing my best here. I'm trying to breathe anyway. Anyway. He has commissioned Judge Murray from Essex County. Interesting, ironic, a bit of irony because our New Jersey State Supreme Court ruling, Polzo v. County of Essex, it hails from Judge Murray's county. So, interesting indeed. That ruling says that it is up to in the state of New Jersey, it is up to a cyclist. It points out two things specifically. One, I suppose three things specifically. One, a shoulder is just that, a shoulder. It's not a lane of travel. It is not it is not a lane of travel for a car and not a lane of travel for a bicycle. You're only to be in it for when you break down, need to pull over, roadside repair, things like that. Two, it points out that it is up to the cyclist to make their determination where to be at on the road to best facilitate their own safety. Okay, their own safety. Mr. Pozzo's wife was riding in the shoulder when she hit a very deep depression, a massive pothole, and lost control, severe head injuries. Although she was wearing a helmet. She was wearing a helmet. So I just gotta change hands here. She was wearing a helmet. Languished for about a month before ultimately passing away. Very, very, very painful. Mr. Pozzo Khan lost his case. The state Supreme Court ultimately ruled that the state of New Jersey cannot be held liable for every last mile, every meter of its infrastructure, of its road infrastructure. It's just too large, it's too vast, it's too infinite. Potholes are constantly emerging. It's not possible to keep up with it all. The state of New Jersey would indeed go completely bankrupt, probably within a matter of weeks from all of the lawsuits being filed. I mean, could you imagine if the word got out? Personal injury lawyers from near and far would flock to the state of New Jersey. Oh my God, it'd be jam-packed with personal injury lawyers for everybody. It wouldn't just simply be cyclists, people walking, any kind of injury you incurred, whether a skin knee, amputation, or death, while using New Jersey's roadways, walkways, you know, due to a road imperfection. So it's just not possible. It's going to be up to the road user to best facilitate their own safety, which is exactly what I am doing when I utilize lane control due to excessively narrow lane width and zero cycling infrastructure. And of course, the Supreme Court ruling makes it clear that I'm not even supposed to be in the shoulder, regardless of how wide it is. Yes, so that's what Pozzo v. Essex makes clear. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out to this innocence commission, to this brand new commission created by the state's attorney general, and I will see if they will take my case. We have two judges, Judge John Rosenberger, who strictly forbid me to read my charge aloud in court, forbid me from reading the language of the law in court, and did not allow me to cross-examine my witnesses on the language of the law. He literally said, I didn't bring you here to read, close quote. I was not allowed to read anything. The matter of fact, in the video evidence where the statute was listed in the opening credits of the video evidence, Title 39-414, the judge, it's like nah, I don't want to see that. This judge clearly had already made up his mind that I was to be guilty, and he was going to assist prosecution and the officers during their testimony to help them get through that testimony, because he understands that the language of the law, it is clearly in the defendant's favor. And of course, in the Lord of the Lies, Robert Shepard's case, Judge Michelle Verno illegally separated me from legal counsel. All of the tickets that I was charged with, it entitled me to a defense attorney. Judge Verno, at the beginning of my trial, told me that I will not be getting a public defender because she will not be considering imprisonment or suspension of my driver's license as a possible penalty. Now, if the judge wants to take the penalty off of the table, I suppose that's her prerogative. But what is not her prerogative and what is not within her purview is to separate me from the legal counsel that comes along with it. You can't. In other words, Judge Michelle Vernal also had made up in her mind that she was going to find me guilty before the trial began. And to facilitate that, we need to make sure that you don't have legal representation. So massive Fifth Amendment rights, due process violations in both trials. All right, what time have I got here? 26. I really don't know if I should even share with you the depression that's just simply always there. I am trying to be happy. There is I'll see if I can leave you with something good. Monday, I will also be working with my social worker. He's a really cool guy. My social worker, we're going to be checking out some places to apply. We've got some stumbling blocks to the application process. Not only is there an application fee of like $40, $50, that's per apartment. They also want fire inspection certificates and also certificates of occupancy. It could cost something like, $150, $130, $150 per apartment applying. And my voucher covers none of that. All my voucher covers is rent, just the rent, period. So, I have to my stipend, which is quickly dwindling. It always does. I have to allocate money to the side for applying for apartments. I don't see me being able to apply or put those well, yeah, I mean, it limits where you can apply. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay, so that's where we're at. We're gonna see if we can get some justice. Oh yes, I guess I'll tell you now. Lane Control Saga 3.0. It is very much indeed on the horizon. I've got the the latest surcharge from the Department of Motor Vehicle. That was the only thing in my mailbox. There is still no warrant for my arrest yet. I really don't know what's going on with that. I honestly would have thought they would have issued a warrant by now. The driver's license is still unlawfully suspended, and the surcharges are continuing to climb and mount with their penalties of not paying. So what initially was $200 is now $400, and that's going to continue to climb indefinitely. As stated, I will never pay it. Fucking ever. If I won the lottery today, $10 million, I still would never fucking pay it. Any of it. Not my fines, any of it. Lane Control Saga 3.0. What time have I got here? 29. Alright, gotta say this real fast and then let it go. 100% compliance with Posel v. Essex. Yes, that means zero use of shoulder whatsoever. I will be utilizing Lane control. Permanently and indefinitely, as long as the lanes of travel are under under 14 feet wide. Therefore, it is not practicable to attempt lane sharing, and of course, whether the shoulder is there or not, Posal V6 indicates that I am not to use it. Yes, you are now looking at the possibility of US 322, whenever I have need of it, being constricted down to one lane. And when the police come, there is where I will have my final stand. You're not done with me, and I'm not done with you. This will come to a head one way or another. I will have justice one way or another. I will not be stopped, and I will not be denied. Cyclists have died far too much. We have been bullied out of our rights too much. Total Control 871.